Welcome to Ransom Teens. My name is Josie, so if I haven't had the chance to meet you, it's great to meet you from up here. I'm one of our residents / teen life directors, so it's great to meet you guys. Great to be here. I am not a sir. But this is actually the part of the evening where I tell you guys an embarrassing, ridiculous story from my childhood. Yeah. Thank you. So go back in time with me, back to my 5th grade year of elementary school. Yep, 5th grade. Some of you were just there last year. Some of you, it's been a while. But my 5th grade year, I'm a Sioux Falls native. I went to Eugene Fields Elementary. It is a very, did you go there? No way, it's a super small school. Like, I didn't know where it was until the other week. So out of, elementary schools, it's not, super impressive, I would say. But what they do is each spring, they put on this, giant production of a musical. Yeah, and they're insane. You learn, and then it hits, March, and you stop learning, and you just put on a musical, basically. In my 5th grade year, the musical was Peter Pan. How many of you have seen Peter Pan? Yeah. So, we're going to put on Peter Pan. You have to audition. You have to memorize music. You have to memorize lines. It is a big deal. It's a very big deal. And each year, when you audition, you try to get the main role, right? I'm auditioning to be Peter Pan or Captain Hook. I don't want to be anyone else. I want to be this main character. But chances are, right, you aren't going to be a main character because there's only two. Chances are you're going to be a side character. You're going to be something else. So my 5th grade year, I auditioned. I put on the audition of a lifetime, but instead of getting Peter Pan or Captain Hook, I did not. I got the one, the only, Captain Hook's right-hand man, Mr. Smee. Yep. Yes, thank you. Yeah, so this, this upset me for a couple of reasons. The first one being because I don't know how you look at me and you think, Mr. Smee, she's got it, yeah. So that upset me. That hurt my confidence a little bit. But the second reason why I was upset was because I wanted to be a main role. I didn't want to be on the side. I didn't think the part of Mr. Smee was important. I thought it was just a small role. It didn't matter at all. And those thoughts affected my performance. And so there actually came a point where I didn't know any of my lines. I didn't know when I was supposed to be on stage or off stage. And our opening night, I had no idea what I was doing. And I would just run on stage and yell stuff and then just kind of leave. I did not know what I was supposed to be doing. And because I didn't care, because I thought my role was unimportant, I brought down the quality of the entire show. And years later, I actually ran into my music teacher. Her name is Miss Laura. She's a wonderful lady. I actually don't think that's her name anymore. I think she got married. But Miss Laura and I ended up talking for a little bit. And I asked her, how do you choose these students? How do you choose 5th graders to play these amazing big roles? And how do you know who's going to be right, who isn't going to be right? And she responded by saying, the truth is, no matter the role, it's never too small. Because every role makes a difference. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight, guys. We're going to be talking about this question, what difference can I make? So if you've been with us the last few weeks, you know we've been talking about some different big questions that Gen Z is asking, right? These big questions. Who am I? Where do I fit in? What's my identity? And this week we're tackling what difference can I make? And to help us do so, we are going to watch a video with some of our very own Ransom Teen students in it. So let's check this out.
Guys, thank you so much for being here today. This is the 4th week of our Uncertain series, and we're gonna jump into some questions. I wanna know your dream job and why. All right, and if you're sitting here and you're like, I don't know what I wanna be when I grow up, like when you were 10, what did you wanna be when you grew up, okay?
I want to be a welder just because they make a lot of money, and I figured out I'm pretty good at being a welder, because, I don't know, I just kind of figured it out.
I think it would be fun to be like a marine biologist, because then you could just like hang out at the beach all day and go on boats and stuff.
I think it would be very fun to be a coder, like a game coder and everything for like graphics and like the game itself and all the mix and match of it.
What does it mean, in your guys' opinion, to make a difference?
To me, making a difference means like making an impact on like someone or something, and like changing the way somebody feels or thinks about something.
Yeah, that was a really good answer. Ian?
Making a difference is like changing something in any way, shape, or form, just like changing it, or like standing up to a bully or something. You're making a difference for someone else.
Yeah.
I feel like it's really kind of like a broad area, like making a difference. It can like apply to so many different things. Standing out for something good.
As we're talking about making a difference, who in your life has made a difference?
Someone who's made a difference in my life, probably, I don't know, probably my brother, Brennan, just because, he's done a lot. He graduated in college in like 2 years instead of 4, something like that. It was weird, but like he does a lot, and he's like trying to buy a house now, and he's like a grown man and stuff. So he's changed a lot.
Yeah.
For me, it would probably be like my close friends, because we hold each other accountable, and they're like, we're always there for each other, and we have just like good relationships with each other.
Mostly like my family and like how I grew up. Like I grew up in a Christian home, so like I was surrounded with like the love of Jesus like ever since I was little. And I feel like that has definitely made the most impact on my life. If you could say anything to our Ransom teen students and our adult leaders about encouraging them to make a difference, what would you say?
I would say to you, get out of your comfort zone, because like when you're in your comfort zone, you can't make a difference.
You have a lot more influence than you realize, so just get out there, go make any difference that you can.
Make friends, because if you make a lot of friends, then your friends can like help you make a difference.
Go with the flow and do it your way.
No matter your age, or if you think you can make a big difference or not, that the small differences that you can make are huge, that the small differences can build, and eventually it can make a big difference, more than you think.
And I just want to tell you guys that your role is never too small. No matter who you know, who you don't know, what grade you're in, what activities you do, who God has uniquely made you to be, and your role in that is never too small.
Yeah, let's hear it for the people in our videos. They've crushed all of our videos. It's so cool that they're like taking a step of leadership and doing that, so you guys are amazing. Thank you. All right, so if you have not caught it yet, I'm going to ask you guys a question. What question are we talking about tonight? I've said it a couple times. You can just yell it. We don't need to raise hands. What are we talking about? How do we make a difference, right? What difference can we make? That is our question for tonight, and we need to point something out right away so we're all on the same page. The question is not, can I make a difference? The question is, what difference can I make? Because every single one of us in this room make a difference. Whether you're aware of it or not, you make a difference. And whether that difference is like positive, like, oh, I'm standing up to a bully, or I'm inviting a new student to sit with me, or that difference can be negative, like bringing down the production of a 5th grade play. Like, that's negative, not good, right? So we all make a difference, no matter what. And we get to choose what that difference is. And it's easy, I think, for us to doubt, like, oh, like I can't make a difference. My role doesn't matter. Like I'm a 7th grader. It doesn't matter what I do because I don't make a difference. But understanding the roles that we play help us make a difference all over the place. And whether you guys believe me or not, this has been a discussion for such a long time. Like it's not new to us in the 21st century, but it's been talked about forever. Can I actually make a difference? What difference can I make? And we read about it in the Bible all over the place, but specifically in 1 Corinthians. So if you have a Bible, you can flip there now. If you don't, it's going to be on the screens for us. But here we're going to read about this guy, Paul, who literally didn't know a thing about Jesus, didn't care about Jesus at all. And then one day God got a hold of his life and he completely changed. Literally changed in such an amazing way, right? And he is the reason that we know about Jesus here. He spread the gospel everywhere. And so in 1 Corinthians, Paul starts talking about how our different roles can make a difference. And he does this through the analogy of the human body, of the different body parts we have. So we're going to read 1 Corinthians starting in chapter 12 together real quick, all right? So it starts, verse 12, it says, the human body has many parts, but the many parts make up one whole body. So it is with the body of Christ. Some are Jews, some are Gentiles, some are slaves, and some are free. But we have all been baptized into one body by one Spirit, and we all share the same Spirit. Yes, the body has many parts, not just one part. If the foot says, I'm not a part of the body because I'm not a hand, does that make it any less a part of the body? And if the ear says, I'm not a part of the body because I'm not an eye, would that make it any less a part of the body? If the whole body were an eye, how would you hear? Or if the whole body were an ear, how would you smell anything? But our bodies have many parts, and God has put each part just where he wants it. How strange a body would be if it only had one part. Yes, there are many parts, but only one body. The eye can never say to the hand, I don't need you. And the head can't say to the foot, I don't need you. That was a lot. I know that. That was 10 verses. So we're going to break that down together right now before we get into small groups, okay? So I got 3 takeaways, 3 things I want us to focus on. The first one being, we all have different roles. And we hear that right away starting in verse 12 when Paul writes that the human body has many parts, but it all makes up one body. All of us in this room have different parts to play. We all have a unique role that only we can fill. Some of us have been going to church for a long time. Some of us, this might be your first week here. You have no idea what I'm talking about, but I'm so glad you're here. Some of us may be athletes, musicians, gamers, on the student council or in the chess club. We all have these different roles. And to prove it, I'm going to introduce myself. I'm going to say one of my roles, and then I want you guys to take 15 seconds and turn to a person next to you and say some of your roles. So I'd say hi, I'm Josie. I'm a daughter and a sister and a golfer. All right, now you go. All right, 15 minutes. What's a role you have? And say it to the person next to you. Not 15 minutes, 15 seconds. All right, if you haven't yet, you guys switch. Okay, we're going to come back together now. We all have different roles, right? You might have similar roles. There might be other sisters in the room. But all of us have different roles, right? All of us have different roles. And if we all have different roles, we're going to go to point 2, our second takeaway. We need to embrace our specific roles, right? We all need to embrace who we are, the specific roles that we have. And when we were reading, Paul asked some questions, and I actually want us to answer these questions. So I'm going to ask you guys a question. The answer will be yes or no. Whichever one you think is right, you just shout it out back to me, okay? So in verse 15, we actually read, if the foot says, It's no longer a part of the body because I'm not a hand. Is it any less a part of the body? Yes or no? No, right? And if the ear says, I am not a part of the body because I'm not an eye, would that make it any less a part of the body? No, right? So just like all of us, we all have different roles, but those roles do not make you any less important or any less a part of Ransom Teens or the body of Christ. Okay? It's like no matter what, if my foot and my ear have different like functions, right? Like I don't hear with my foot and I don't walk with my ear. They both have different functions, but they are both so crucial to how my body works. Okay? And why would Paul ask us this? Like why would Paul be talking about ears and feet in the Bible when the Bible is supposed to be about Jesus? And I think it's because we get so wrapped up in trying to be like everyone else. We get so wrapped up in looking at other people and saying, oh, this is what they do, I should do that. But God didn't make me to be like Simone Biles or Addison Rae or Reagan. Like, right? God made me to be me. So I need to play the role that he has given me. And Paul's trying to get across like the best part you can have, the best role you can play, and the biggest difference you can make is where you embrace who you are, where you own who you are. So don't try to be like everyone else. Be who God has made you to be. And our last takeaway, we're almost done here. Our third takeaway is our roles work together. Right? So in verse 19, Paul writes, how strange a body would be if it only had one part. Yes, there are so many parts, but only one body. And when I read that, I'm reminded how we need one another, right? We need one another, and the biggest difference we can make is when we are in like unity with one another. The different gifts we have are amazing. We're all unique, we are all made differently, but we still need to be in unity all together. So, point 1, we all have different roles. Point 2, embrace your specific role. And 3, our roles work together. And the role you play is so important because you can make a specific difference. You were placed here for a certain reason. And the positive, the greatest, the biggest difference you can make is when you introduce someone to Jesus, when you let someone walk beside you as you have your walk of faith, teaching them about Jesus, not only through what you say, but through your actions, right? When we listen to teachers at school, when we sit nicely and like pay attention at youth group, or when we're respectful in small group. Because the biggest difference any of us can make is when we're sharing Jesus with people who don't know him. Because I promise you, there's people in your schools. Some of us, there might even be people like at our homes that don't know who Jesus is. You could be the one person who lives out their faith with someone else. You can share the love of God with those around you by listening to teachers, your coaches, your parents, by asking someone to sit with you at school. And so tonight I challenge you to not fall into this belief or into this pattern where you think that like what you do or how you behave or the role you have doesn't matter. Because there's students, teachers, family members that need Jesus in their lives. And Jesus is going to make an eternal difference. So with that, we're going to throw your small groups up on the screen, and you guys are dismissed to small group tonight.